This just in, according to the 2020 Modeling the Future panel study national survey, the number of college students reporting using psychedelic drugs increased from 9% in 2020 from 5% in 2019. This pandemic has revealed a new all-time high rate of magic mushroom use among college students and adults in the US. To understand these rates, we must first define what magic mushrooms are. Psilocybin or magic mushrooms are naturally occurring and are consumed for their hallucinogenic effects. They belong to a group of drugs known as psychedelics, which trigger changes in perception, mood, and thought. They look exactly how they are described, like mushrooms. They are taken in a variety of ways, mainly ingested orally in tea. It can also be eaten fresh or cooked. The dried version of shrooms can be smoked, mixed with cannabis or tobacco. The synthetic version of psilocybin can come in white crystalline powder, or it can be processed into tablets or capsules to be dissolved in water and then ingested orally. The effects of the mushroom usually begin 30 minutes when eaten or within 5 to 10 minutes when taken as a soup or tea, and can last approximately 4 to 6 hours. Those taking mushrooms will experience a sense of euphoria, as well as a change in consciousness, mood, thought, and perception. Some physical effects of magic mushrooms include the following: dilation of pupils, perceptual changes like visual and auditory hallucinations, stomach discomfort, nausea, headaches, fast or irregular heartbeat, increased body temperature, quick breathing, vomiting, facial flushes, swelling, and chills. If one overdoses on shrooms, they'll experience agitation, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle weakness, panic, paranoia, psychosis, seizures, or a coma. Now, a psychedelic experience, also known as a trip, is a temporary altered state of consciousness induced by the consumption of psychedelic substance, and it is during this time that hallucinations occur, so there will be an inability to discern fantasy from reality. Panic reactions from psychotic-like episodes may also occur, particularly if a user ingests a high dose. A bad trip is one where unpleasant and intense hallucinations, anxiety, panic, paranoia, or fear occurs. After a trip, there is a come down, which is the phase of drug withdrawal or the experience of being high wears off. During this time, delayed headaches can happen, as well as exhaustion, depression, and anxiety. Long-term effects of shroom use. Some people who regularly use magic mushrooms may experience flashbacks that involve a previous experience. This can have visual distortions, perceptual and emotional changes, and these flashbacks can occur for weeks, months, or even years after the drug was taken. This can be both frightening and disturbing. Researchers also say frequent repeated use of psychedelics could theoretically stress the heart. So some current research on psilocybin, it is a Schedule I substance under the Controlled Substances Act, meaning that it has a high potential for abuse. There's no current accepted medical use treatment in the United States, and a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. But in 2018, Johns Hopkins Medicine advocated for the reclassification recommendations of psilocybin from Schedule I to Schedule IV, so it can be prescription for sleeping aids, but with tighter control. Then in 2016, research showed that psilocybin eases existential anxiety in people with life-threatening cancer. More recently, in 2019, Johns Hopkins launches their Center for Psychedelic Research, and just last year, Johns Hopkins Medicine was awarded a grant from the National Institutes of Health to explore the potential impacts of psilocybin on tobacco addiction. So what's the future of shrooms? California activists last Wednesday announced that they have come up short on collecting enough signatures to qualify a measure to legalize psilocybin mushrooms for the state's November ballot, but they're not giving up on future election cycle bid. This talk of legalization of shrooms and other psychedelics come from recent research and popularity of recreational use of the drug, like microdosing. Microdosing has become increasingly popular during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's typically defined by experts as taking 5 to 10% of a full dose of a psychedelic, usually LSD or psilocybin, as a way to get supposed mental health benefits of the drug without the hallucinogenic high. At that level, taken several times a week, some claim that drugs improve their mood, boost their creativity, and give the world a brighter, shinier quality. In practice, only about a third of people who microdose carefully measure the amount of psychedelics that they are taking. Most just take enough to begin feeling some effects, which usually start after an hour and last 4 to 6 hours. So be really careful when you come into contact with mushrooms and really do your research. Thank you so much, and this is breaking news on psilocybin.